Disclaimer. I am a law student, and the legal information provided is not legal advice. For that, please hire an attorney. Thank you, Emma. The next thing that we're going to be talking about is another real serious shit that happened this week. So let me get some ones in chat if you are familiar with Ethan Jasleen or Ethan the Doll on YouTube. All right, let me get some ones in chat real quick. While I sip on my tea. All right, there's some mixed responses. Okay, well then it's a good thing that, hey, listen, we're gonna give the full background so that everyone can be fully aware. Only through the server, even. Wow, yeah, there's actually a decent split. Okay. Well, then it's a good thing that I make sure to disclose as many facts as I can at the beginning of all my discussions, or at least discussions like these. So, let's talk about it. So, basically, for people who aren't aware, Ethan Jasleen, or Ethan the Doll, is a pretty famous trans YouTuber, all right? I think she's affiliated with Blair. I'm not sure if they're on good relations. I know they have drama. But Blair talked about this a little bit, and someone directed that to me. Actually, it was Summer Star. Thank you for the information. Very, very helpful. And yeah, she was very good or very, very helpful in helping me prepare for the segment, right? So Eden was, when she was out with, I believe, some friends, was attacked and robbed by several people, right? This is the raw footage available that's been collected since afterwards. So we're going to watch it, and I'm going to leave it to you until we get into the specific discussion. All right? I was just robbed, attacked, or hold on, I want to read some of it. I was robbed, attacked, and jumped in Hollywood tonight. I am alive and okay, and will update everyone else tomorrow. This is from Eden's Instagram. I was very lucky, but my friends are really hurt. Please send them kind words. So this motherfucker recorded and posted the entire thing. He mocked us, sexualized us, and investigated the entire attack. Him and his friends stole from us, beat us, laughed at us, humiliated us, and had the nerve to post it. So I want people to think about this for a second. Essentially, what happened was Eden and her friends were out and met a group of people, all right? What seems to be largely men. Yeah, content warning. Big fucking content warning. Thank you for putting that up. Big fucking content warning. This is graphic. Big fucking content warning. Thank you. I get really into the discussion, so thank you, chat, for being on that shit. And yeah, I want you all to consider as we're going through this, at least from my perspective, right? It is very hard. Like this summer, I was working on a conspiracy. I can't say a lot about the specifics because it's still an ongoing case, but like I worked on a conspiracy case, right? And it is almost impossible to find like really damning evidence in a lot of cases. I want you to just look at this and see what you make of it, all right? The fact that literally the entire instance was recorded and posted by the suspects. Just keep that in mind. Actually, that'll work.
So the phone or what weapon?
This guy basically stole my phone while we waited for an Uber outside of Hollywood. I got these slips from him live. Thank you for sending me this.
What the fuck?
Shut the fuck up, bitch! I will call every neighborhood Christian. Get your ass lit up! Stop fucking with me, I'm not homeless! I am just a face.
We initially tried to get it back, but his friends started throwing rocks at us. We tried to run away, but they chased us down.
Ain't no face. Keep fucking throwing rock. I throw a lighter at you. Stop lying.
Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh shit!
We initially tried to get back. Yeah, we tried to run, but they chased us down. Now this not. Just to rewatch, just so everyone can see. Now, it's a little difficult to make out exactly what this is. Either it's hitting her or stealing something directly from her. At minimum, stealing something. We know that much, right? But it's hard to tell with physical force. But it seems pretty likely, right? And regardless, it's pretty fucking shitty. Aside from hitting me, he tried to rob me again. Okay, so yeah, yeah.
Hey, you remember that? Hey, you remember that shit on White Chicks? You remember that shit on White Chicks when they stole the face?
They outnumbered us. Now he hits Jocelyn White Rose and steals her bag. His friends chase us down in cars.
No! Oh!
See that? And hear the responses? Let's watch it again. Mind you, by the way, spoiler. Actually, we'll watch it, and I want people to keep this in particular in mind as we go through this.
No! Oh! 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 Oh!
His friends chase us down in cars. In panic and still recovering from hip surgery, Jocelyn Flawless hands her bag to this man.
Wait, he gonna steal my shoes! I'm not gonna steal it. I'm not gonna steal it.
I'm not gonna steal it. I'm not gonna steal it.
Hey. What the? Why are you like that?
They mock her as she falls and throws and breaks my phone. Watch. Oh, there goes the phone.
Oh!
And falls.
Go!
They flat out stole her bag and recorded themselves doing it.
Go get in the car. What's this? Oh, it's...
That's her phone and her bag.
No.
They grab a scooter and throw it at us. That's what that was.
No.
One of them is trying to sell my phone back. My phone has all my videos and family pictures I haven't backed up. I was desperate.
$80. I ain't got the phone though.
You bought a phone?
I ain't got the phone. You see the $80?
Excuse me?
$80.
$80.
80 what?
You said $80 right? You got $80 right?
I have, yeah.
That good?
I was scared. Let that sink in for a second.
I have money in my bag, yeah.
I'm not asking to let me hold it. That's when
This nigga really trying to finesse me. This nigga said, I need to
I gave him all my cash, everything.
see that $80. Stop flirting. Who the fuck?
that turned me on. It sounded like a turn.
Oh, this nigga got the money.
Whoa!
Let's rewatch that.
That turned me on. It sounded like a turn.
Oh, this nigga got the money.
Whoa!
Okay, we don't see it on screen. Punch goes to the ground. Pretty reasonable to make that out, right?
Damn.
Worst possible thing happened. Other guy came back and bashed Jocelyn White Rose head open. She completely passed out on me.
Damn. What the fuck? Oh shit. Yeah, I think it's time to leave, nigga. Oh shit. Yeah, I think it's time to leave, nigga. I didn't get that. I didn't get that. Hey.
She's dead. They're laughing as I'm begging them to call 911. They mock me as I cry for help.
Oh, she's dead, nigga.
Get her again.
Damn. R.I.P. What the fuck?
That's her,
What
man,
the
nigga.
fuck, bro?
Yes, we call police.
Yeah, let's call 911.
Call the cops. Oh my God, call the police.
Call the
Yeah,
I'm completely traumatized. This is the scariest moment of my life.
they called him already.
That's a badass shit.
Pull that from where? Damn, nigga.
Fuck!
Oh my God, nigga.
He coming back. He coming back.
Yeah. Oh,
He coming back.
nigga, they coming. They
I hear sirens and and pray we finally get saved.
coming. They coming. No.
Move, Fame, move.
Damn.
The cops stopped, looked, and kept driving. Remember this for a little bit, or in a little bit later.
So I wave him over here?
Damn, nigga.
Officer. And they just kept going.
Them niggas just passed by.
More people kept walking past us. No one is stopping. No one is helping, no matter how much I begged.
What the fuck?
Right.
What happened?
I partially got it, bro.
You got it? You see?
Hey.
These guys are the most evil, disgusting human beings.
Damn.
Just got it. Look, boom.
Damn.
Literally just kind of celebrating that they got this on camera.
What the fuck?
Oh, that. Look, she come back.
As all this was going on, that same man held Jocelyn Flawless at knife point and made her take her shoes off, stole her bracelets, and threatened to kill her. Jocelyn White Rose finally wakes up.
Come on. Let's go. This guy.
I'm at 10%. I'm at 10% right now.
Yeah, why are y'all just sitting here
No,
recording?
the police.
I finally got my phone to work and called for an ambulance. They're not coming fast enough. Everyone is mocking us.
There's nothing.
What else you got?
You better use the muscles you got, nigga.
Come on, let's go. You're just sitting there fucking recording.
She got crackled there.
This is from that man's Instagram story. I really got a fucking headache from laughing too much. This is so funny. This is so funny. Women, men, our brothers and sisters laughing at us. This is our America.
Oh.
You know how it feels. Are you a Let's go. That's why you're broke.
Oh, that's why you sleep, nigga.
Oh, that's
Black Lives Matter.
black forces.
Oh, look. Hey.
People preach Black Lives Matter and want equality for us, but this is how they treat black trans women. If their lives don't matter, then none of ours do.
What?
No, sir. Hey, what I tell you? No shoes, nigga.
But if something happened to you like that, I would never do that shit to you.
You guys say Black Lives Matter and
like
you guys
that
are
to
making fun of
you.
it.
Let's uplift these queens. We love you. Jocelyn Flawless. Jocelyn White Rose. Nice that she's trying to end this on a nice note.
Another black lives that's in the floor.
And you want to talk about Black Lives Matter and you're sitting a black woman
Oh,
who's on the floor and you want to talk about Black Lives Matter? You want to talk about Black Lives Matter? A black girl sitting on the floor.
Where's the blood? They want to see us bleed. This will never stop until these men fucking change. We could be fucking dead right now.
Where's the blood?
There's no blood.
I don't care if you don't like me, or aren't a fan, or even hate me. No one deserves this. Women like me get murdered on the fucking daily. I recognize my privilege. I know how lucky I am. But what about those who aren't? It's all fun and games until it happens to you. So that's the footage. 1 second. Let's go on. Here's some local news coverage of it the day after.
Developing news: an arrest in a brutal attack on 3 transgender women caught on camera. That attack happened early Monday morning on Hollywood Boulevard while the women waited for an Uber.
Yeah, one of the victims is a YouTube personality. KCOM's Jasmine Veal live in Hollywood, where the LAPD just wrapped up a news conference on the arrest. Jasmine?
That they did. Susie and Juan live out in front of the Hollywood station. This is where the LAPD said that they arrested 2 of the 3 suspects wanted for assault and robbery on these 3 transgender women. And this violent attack caught on cell phone video from just a few days ago. Take a look. Yeah, this cell phone video captured parts of the alleged robbery early Monday morning. You can see 2 of the 3 women even chasing after the primary suspect, Carlton Calway, right in the middle of the street. The women had been waiting for an Uber on Hollywood Boulevard when LAPD says Calway robbed them, at one point armed with a metal bar. Calway is accused of hitting one of the women over the head and knocking her out. One of the victims, YouTube star Eden Estrada, talked with us on Monday. She said she believes this was a targeted attack since the suspect just went ballistic after learning that they were transgender. LAPD is, in fact, calling it a hate crime, and City Councilman Mitchell Farrell spoke today about bringing attention to the violence against the transgender community.
A group of 3 transgender women were viciously attacked on Hollywood Boulevard. What was particularly callous about these crimes was the actions of the onlookers.
When I saw this video as well, like I think anyone else who's seen it, who believes in human decency, to see this level of violence celebrated gleefully, so much so that the perpetrator himself posted it on social media, it's like a sucker punch to all of us who believe in civilized behavior.
Hold on to that for a second. There's been more.
Take a look at the photos of the suspects. Calway was arrested just hours ago in Bakersfield on a hate crime enhancement and assault with a deadly weapon. You have Willie Walker, who police say they recognized from those cell phone videos, and he was arrested yesterday.
It's being called a hate crime, or it was called a hate crime at this point. Hold on to that. Just hold on to that for a second.
On extortion. They say he's homeless. Also, they are still looking for Davion Williams, wanted for assault. So one suspect still outstanding, 2 of the 3 arrested. Back out here live in front of the Hollywood station, Susie and Juan. The LAPD tells me that these detectives, they worked very closely with the LGBTQ community to bring in those tips. They say, again, you heard it right there, cell phone video crucial on social media to tracking down the suspects. I'll send it back to you.
All right.
Okay. Here's some more.
Beaten, robbed, and ridiculed, a transgender YouTube star and her friends were the victims of a violent hate crime in Hollywood, all caught on camera.
Up, and we have as many angles as possible.
Well, they say witnesses egged the suspect on instead of trying to help.
KCAL 9's Brittany Hopper spoke to the women about the horrific attack.
The victims, one who happens to be a YouTube star, they believe that they were targeted because they are trans women. I want to warn you, the video is graphic. Early Monday morning, 3 trans women were waiting for an Uber in Hollywood when LAPD says a man attacked and robbed them, and it's all caught on video.
Damn. It was absolutely the worst moment of my life.
One of the victims is YouTube star Eden Estrada, who goes by Eden the Doll. She has close to 500,000 followers. She says she believes this was a targeted attack. She says after getting robbed by this man, she says people across the street were yelling out that they were trannies, and that's when the man went ballistic and started attacking them, hitting one of the women over the head, knocking her out. The 3 women spoke to us via FaceTime.
My friend completely collapsed. I'm not a doctor. I don't know if she's breathing. I'm trying my hardest to help her. I'm begging people for help. I'm screaming for help.
The women say the man took their cell phones, wallets, and purses, and while they were screaming for help, a large group of people were just recording them, not helping them or calling police. You can hear in the video people laughing at them.
When I was waking back up, literally all I saw and I could see was all these lights, people with cameras laughing at me, telling me that they wished that he had killed me, that they were upset because I was still alive.
Estrada says she was able to get the video and give it to police after witnesses were uploading to social media and viewers recognized it was Estrada.
I know that I'm so privileged because I am a YouTuber and because people know who I am, but this happens all the time to women like me who aren't on social media, but we need this to stop.
LAPD says that this is an active investigation and they are asking for the public's help. If you recognize this man in the video or if you have any information, you're asked to call LAPD.
All right. I believe that's all the news coverage that I have that I want to look at. Just for reference. Here's the main suspect. Carlton A. Calloway. I'm going to show his name. I don't give a fuck. Here's some more coverage. We have 2 of these SOBs that attacked and robbed. Now let's get the middle one. So they were able to arrest this one, this one. Okay. Problem. Problem. Big problem. This is what Jocelyn posted to her Instagram story. Update. The DA has rejected our case. Court was scheduled for tomorrow at 8:30 a.m. They went ahead and did it today instead without notifying us. The district attorney has officially rejected our case due to not enough evidence. Every file has been dropped and everyone has been released from jail. All the people that we just looked at, all of them were released. These two people are free men right now. This is your America. Our lives do not matter to them. I'd like to thank everyone from the bottom of my heart for supporting, campaigning, and loving our friends. Yeah. So let's watch this.
This is Eden.
Eden, how you doing?
I'm okay, just waiting for the news.
Yeah, so that's why I'm calling, and I wish I had better news, but I wanted to let you know the district attorney has decided to temporarily reject the case for further investigation, meaning that the individual that was arrested is going to be released today.
Are you serious?
Yeah. So the only explanation I can give to you is what was given to me by the district attorney's office, and the DA that was assigned this case feels that he needs more time to review the evidence. Now, whether that's typical standard procedure, I don't, in my experience, not typically, but that's the way that they want to do it. I don't agree with it, and I don't think that it's right, but that's why I wanted to call you and let you know, you hear it from me, that everything that could have been done and has been done, we've done everything that we possibly can do. And unfortunately, in the way that our system is set up, the buck stops with the district attorney's office. They have the ultimate say-so on what goes from this point. So we conduct our investigation, we go out, we make arrests, and we put people in jail. And the district attorney's office is left with the responsibility of filing criminal charges through the court system and keeping people in jail. In this particular situation, they've decided that they're not in any particular hurry to do anything, and that this person's going to be released from custody today.
Okay. So, sorry. Hold on. Give me a second.
Yeah. But I did also want to give you some phone numbers to call for the district attorney's office, because maybe they can have a better explanation for you than what they had for me. I don't particularly, like I said, I feel bad that I'm the one having to give you this news.
Yeah.
Because I don't agree with it. But the people that are making that decision, I feel that you should at least have their phone number, and maybe they can have a better explanation for you.
Okay. Like, even with the video footage, with all the signatures, everything that's happened the last week, that's not enough evidence to, like, this just does not make sense to me. Like, how is that even legally possible?
I believe that, yeah, everything that you just said, I do believe is enough evidence to file criminal charges against these people. That's why we arrested them. So yes, absolutely. I believe that there is enough evidence to file charges. If I didn't feel that, then we would have waited.
I know you have done nothing but been very helpful, detective, and I really appreciate your help. And I know this isn't your fault, but
no,
it's just really disheartening, and it's really like, it just, makes you, it just really sucks.
Yeah. And I completely agree with you, actually. And it sucks that we find ourselves in this position. But right now, they're not filing charges. Now, hopefully, with the right influence, that will change, and they will file charges.
I will make sure of that. I mean...
Yeah.
So basically, you're telling me right now, as of today, all the charges have been dropped, and he is released from custody, and he is no longer in jail.
Correct.
Okay.
That is correct.
Am I okay to talk about this now on social media? Can I speak up now?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I don't blame you one bit if you do. That's why let me give you the DA's information for handling all this stuff.
Okay, and I could release the DA's information publicly as well, right?
Well, so I'm going to give you, this is the boss. This is going to be the guy who is in charge of this section.
Okay.
So, and that's whose name I'm going to give you, okay? And then when you call them, talk to them and say, hey, look, I'm a victim. I was just advised by the detective handling my case that the person that was arrested just got released, and you want some information about it. And then they'll provide you everything they can, and that's the best way to go from there. Okay.
Okay.
So here's the phone number. It's area code 213.
213.
257.
257.
2385.
2385.
And then this is going to be the assistant head district attorney.
Okay.
And his first name is spelled Dayan.
Dane?
Yeah. And then the last of Mathai. It's Mathai.
Okay. Well, thank you for your help, and I will make sure this information gets everywhere. Thank you.
Okay. Well, Eden, keep in mind too. Okay, I'm still conducting an investigation to keep this thing moving forward. Okay, so just keep that in mind. That as far as what we're doing
have
on this
done
side,
nothing but
we're
your
still
help.
doing everything we can.
Yeah, no, you have done nothing but help and have been extremely helpful. At this point, it really is with the district attorney, and I will navigate all my followers there. So thank you so much.
All right.
You have a great
well,
day.
Call me if you too. Call me if you need anything. Okay.
Okay. Bye bye.
If I'm just outside and I see him, like, what am I supposed to do?
Go the other way. That's a sucky answer to give you, but that.
I want to pause there. I'm gonna let hopefully the rest of it play. What should we do if we see them? Just walk the other way. Just walk the other way. It's on you.
That is the reality of our criminal justice system that we have right now. And it's pathetic. At times it's pathetic.
Let's get Riley's advice. I trust you all to make your own decisions.
Right now, if you were to see this person, your best bet is to stay away from them.
Wow.
Yeah, and like I said, I tend to agree with you. I don't think it's right, but this is the situation that we find. This case, this is the situation we find ourselves in right now.
Okay.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But you have my number,
Her mom wants to talk
hold
to
on,
you.
my mom wants to talk to you for a second.
Dude, that's fucking ridiculous. That is so fucking crazy.
This is an election year. It's an agenda. It is bigger than Eden, Jasleen, and Jocelyn. Way bigger than this. There is no way, with all of this evidence, that he wouldn't be charged. They want chaos in the streets. That's the truth.
They want people to riot. They literally want people to die, people to get shot. Like, this is what they fucking want. And I don't fucking get it.
It is what they want. Don't you get it? It is what they want.
Beth,
you know
what I don't understand is they know how high profile this is. They know how much media coverage this had, and they still fucking denied the case. They still rejected it. They know what's going to happen after this. They know I'm going to go off.
It's a Breonna Taylor. It's a George Floyd.
They literally want me to fucking go off. They want me to go crazy. Like, I don't fucking get it. Like, how is it so hard?
They don't want you to go crazy. You're just the pawn. They want everybody else to go crazy. They want them to riot in the street. They want them to loot. They want them to do all that crazy stuff. Did you see that Black Lives Matter woman in Chicago? She's like, we want reparations, so who cares if you loot? All the stores have insurance anyway. I mean, this is fucking craziness.
Oh my God. Like this, I'm so jazzed.
Let's Google him. D-A.
The entire community. This isn't even about us. This is about the entire fucking community, not just trans, the entire LGBT community. This is about everyone. Fuck me. Fuck all this.
You guys don't get it. This is an election year. There's millions and billions
This is her mother.
at stake. They don't. It's not even about LGBT. I'm telling you, this is fuck up. It's way bigger. It's way bigger.
Oh my fucking God! This guy is a convicted criminal. They all are. This should have been so fucking easy just because of their fucking record. They've had so many fucking opportunities. The justice system has given them so many fucking opportunities, and they keep fucking up. And they still gave them one more chance? I don't fucking get it. What about us? What about what if I was fucking dead? What if Jasleen was fucking dead? They wouldn't give her a fucking second chance? You know? fuck.
Wait, let me Google this.
So frustrating. They literally want us to be paranoid every time we go out. We can't even fucking go to the grocery store without looking twice now. How the hell? And this is with him in fucking jail. Now that he's out, we're gonna like. How am I supposed to live my life after this? How am I supposed to fucking live a normal life after this?
Now watch his music blow up. D-A-Y.
Yeah, watch his fucking. I just gave him a fucking career now, and like I'm literally gonna wait till he posts on Snapchat tonight, thanking me again for giving him clout. Like this is the dumbest thing. I cannot believe this. I cannot believe this.
Arya, now maybe we have a case. If they don't do it.
How do we maybe have a case? We should have had a case to begin with. Now fucking Jasleen is not going to be able to leave the house for fucking months. What if he tries to kill us? He's in fucking gangs. He was saying crib, 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 like a fucking idiot. Like, what if he sends for us? I'm so fucking, oh my god. Oh my fucking god. I want to fucking sue everyone. I don't give a shit. I'm suing everyone. Everyone. This is Eden.
So yeah. Well. 1 second. So, she left off by saying we should have had a case. We should have had a case. We just covered a lot of context. We covered a lot of context. I'm pretty sure that's basically the totality of it, or at least everything that's relevant. Wouldn't they have a civil suit against the state? Well, hey, you know what? It's weird. Why don't we have a chat about? Why don't we have a chat? Here are the questions that I want to address. First, could the DA reject prosecuting the case? All right. I think a lot of people might be confused about that as a preliminary issue. And then secondly, was there enough evidence to be able to charge and try any of these suspects? All right. It's kind of what we're wondering right now. I think that Eden is probably outraged and wonders about these things for herself. Now, I'm not trying to give any advice. I'm not trying to, I'm just approaching this educationally, applying the things I have learned and the things that I know. All right. So let's talk about this. First, could the DA reject prosecuting the case? Now, some people might be familiar with this. I don't know what everyone's aptitude with criminal law is, but just as a primer, unfortunately, yeah. Prosecutors have broad authority to decide whether to charge a suspect and what charges to bring. This is because even though Eden is a victim in this case, the state is ultimately who determines whether or not to bring a criminal case, right? The DA's office is ultimately the people who make the determination, right? The Attorney General can step in sometimes if they so see fit, but in most cases, it's usually left to the DA's office. This would mean that if Eden wants to pursue a claim at this point, she would have to do so in a personal lawsuit through a common law assault/battery tort action. I'm not going to talk about this too much here because I don't want it to come off as if I'm giving her legal advice. But also that's going to be hard for her because, I mean, if you sue someone, usually the remedy in that, usually the remedy at law, so to speak, in torts is monetary damages, right? Now, sometimes you might be able to sue for an injunction. Maybe she sues so that they never are around her. It's possible. It's something she might be able to do. But from what I understand, they don't have a lot of money. So even if she wanted to sue them, she's probably not going to get a lot. As my torts professor would say, it's like trying to get blood from a turnip. You know? Now, I won't comment on that because I don't want to come off as giving a legal advice. So we'll look at whether the DA could have brought criminal charges, all right, at least in my opinion. That's what we're going to be mainly looking at here. So let's talk about some law, all right? We talked about some of this a little bit earlier, or we may have. I can't entirely remember. We've been on a journey, fam. But let's talk about common law battery. So the elements of common law battery are an act. Note that battery often involves the use of force, but force is not required, right? So hitting someone likely would be battery, but it doesn't have to be, right? That results in offensive touching or bodily injury. I've been talking so much tonight. Oh my God. But yeah, that results in offensive touching or bodily injury. Note that like sexually battery, particularly offensive conduct that tended to violate a target's honor or integrity, so to speak, such as spitting in someone's face, could constitute battery, right? It could. Here, the test for whether contact would have been regarded as offensive by a reasonable person, or the test is whether the contact would have been regarded as offensive by a reasonable person in the victim situation. If y'all have learned anything from this, thank you for the subscription. If y'all have learned anything from this, it's that reasonable is the most common word in probably all the law. TLDR. I'm not going to give legal advice, but like honestly, you could probably just go off of that and be fine in a lot of ways in life. But that's the only thing that you take from this. Here, the test is whether the contact would have been regarded. Okay, this is because in this type of circumstance, it becomes necessary to determine whether the contact was offensive. Mistype there. On the other hand, the result element of battery is straightforward when the facts disclose a direct use of physical force, right? You punch someone, they're injured. Results. Easy. And lastly, with intent to engage in offensive touching or to inflict bodily injury. That's the mens rea, the mental state that goes with it, right? It has to be applied to both of the elements, etc., etc. Note that although the traditional mens rea for battery is intent, the common law of battery evolved in a parallel way with the law of murder and involuntary manslaughter, allowing for a range of theories sufficient to establish battery, including recklessness, wanton negligence, and unlawful conduct, which is conceptually similar to felony murder or misdemeanor manslaughter, right? Not as relevant here because we didn't talk about those, but good to be aware of. And now let's talk about the theories of common law assault, okay? The first theory is A, an unlawful attempt plus present ability to commit a battery. Right, it's where you attempt to commit a battery and you try to with the ability to do so. Or, well, talking more about this first. Oh my God. As an attempt crime, this brand of assault requires an intent to inflict bodily injury or intent to commit an offensive touching. Also required was, of course, a course of conduct sufficient to fulfill the traditional actus reus requirements for an attempt, including proximity, unequivocality, and likelihood of success. B, this is the other theory, right? Assault charges in circumstances where a defendant, 1, intends to cause fear or immediate bodily harm, it's the mens rea. 2, engages in conduct that is reasonably calculated to cause apprehension of immediate bodily harm, it's the action. And 3, thereby causes another to suffer reasonable fear of immediate bodily harm. The second theory overlaps somewhat with tort law. You see a lot of similarities between this and tort law where someone would bring a personal lawsuit. The act and result elements are governed by reasonableness, right? Thus, innocuous conduct would not fulfill the actus reus requirement, and idiosyncratic sensitivity on the part of the victim would not satisfy the result element, right? So, like, it always looks at the third person's perspective. It doesn't really matter if you are super sensitive to someone, like, poking you on the shoulder, because the average person probably wouldn't, right? Now, if someone pokes you on the shoulder and it's in such a circumstance which would lead a reasonable person to believe that, like, it's, you know, it would put you on apprehension of immediate physical harm. Like if you're walking down a back alley and someone walks up to you and like pushes you in the arm pretty physically, that could probably get closer to what would be necessary for this kind of a theory of an assault. Okay? Another crime. Let's talk about another possible crime. Common law larceny. Okay? I think I'm done. I'm sorry. Listen, if y'all need a break, let me know, but I'm trying to get through so this doesn't turn into an hour-long video. It probably already is to some extent. Hard information to hear, but important nonetheless. Yeah. So here's common law larceny, right? The elements in common law larceny are 1, an unlawful, 2, appropriation, taking, right? Grab, mine. And 3, asportation, i.e. movement. 4, of personal property. 5, in the possession of another with intent to permanently deprive. Okay? This is larceny. Some people call it theft. It's another way to say theft, essentially. This is like the crime of essentially theft, but it's specifically called larceny under the law, right? Is there anything else there? Nope. Common law robbery. Robbery is just larceny accomplished by either A, an act of violence, or B, the threat of immediate violence, right? You take larceny, and then you add one more thing on top of it. Congratulations, you got robbery, okay? And this is one that I want to throw in, not necessarily because I'm, like, this will depend more on further discovery in the case, right? But just to talk about it, and also because it just makes me happy. Let's talk about common law conspiracy. This is a concept that's thrown around a lot in society and in the law. I think a lot of people are unaware of what it means. Just to be clear, common law conspiracy is not like a couple people meeting in like a secret backboard room, conspiring this evil diabolical plot to end the world or whatever. Conspiracy is both a crime in itself and grounds for assigning vicarious liability. The elements of conspiracy are 1, 2 or more persons, 2, agree, 3, to engage in an unlawful act, to pursue an unlawful end, or to pursue unlawful ends through unlawful means. The mens rea is intent. That's it. That's all the conspiracy is. It's 2 or more people agree to commit a crime or to try to, right? Here, I think, like, I'm not going to say too much because, like, there needs to be more facts discovered in order to get this. But, like, there's a lot of people doing a lot of things to these, to Eden and these women, right? It's a possibility, but would pen further discovery. So, let's do some analysis for purely 100% educational purposes, right? Only education. We're all education here, okay? Was there an act? Yeah, actually multiple. Hitting people, striking them, knocking them down. Remember when the person was on the ground unconscious for a while? That was the thing that happened. Did the acts result in offensive touching or bodily injury? Probably, yeah. Yeah. Did the suspects intend to engage in offensive or harmful touching? Inductively, again, this goes to mens rea. It's usually harder to prove, but inductively, I think that we can reason that yes, they did. Otherwise, they wouldn't have done it. Like, if they didn't want to harm them or offend them, then they could have just not hit Eden and her friends. Inductive reasoning isn't perfect because this ultimately goes to, like, what was in their head, but it's pretty hard to think of what else could have possibly been in their head at that time, right? It's not as if they were hitting that person. It's not as if they were hitting Eden and they thought, oh, actually, this is me showing affection for her and that I totally see her as a valid human being and not as a freak of society, right? Kowalski analysis. I love it. So yeah. Assault analysis. Did the suspects commit actions intended to reasonably cause fear or bodily harm? I would say, yeah, arguably. I mean, if not for the actual harm itself, as we talked about earlier, there are certainly many actions which could qualify as being those which would put someone in reasonable apprehension. Remember when she literally was negotiating, when one of the women was literally negotiating to have her phone back to her, and the man said that you would give it back if she offered $80, and she said that she was terrified. I remember that. And yeah, I don't know. I'll leave y'all to decide that. Did the suspects engage in conduct that is reasonably calculated to put the victims on apprehension? It's basically the same analysis. I would say yeah. Did the suspects therefore cause the victims to suffer fear of immediate bodily harm? Again, one of the women said that this was the most terrified she had ever been in her life. I think that there's a pretty strong argument there, personally. Let's talk about larceny, all right? Were the suspects acting lawfully? No, not that any evidence I was made aware of. There are only certain circumstances where you are allowed to take property from another person, and sometimes it even goes to a constitutional requirement to be able to take property from another person, and those were not here, right? So I'm going to say no, not that any evidence I have been made aware of, unless they were like deputized and there's like a whole nother court proceeding that actually like preceded this, where they were specifically given the orders to take a phone and destroy it. Did the suspects take anything from the victims? Yes, their phones. Did the phones belong to the victims? Yes, they did. They didn't. It's not like the suspects were taking back phones that were previously stolen from them. Were the phones originally in the possession of victims? Yes, they were. Was the intention to permanently deprive? I would say pretty arguably, right? Since literally one of the suspects broke a phone, right? If he was planning on giving it back, then I don't think he would have, broken the phone. It's not really indicative of wanting to give back the phone if you're gonna break it. All right. And robbery. Was there an act of larceny? Yeah. See prior analysis. And was there an act of violence? Again, see prior analysis. But yeah, the suspect struck the victim when he stole her phone, as we saw previously. So, finally are getting here. In my personal opinion, there's a very strong case for charges of criminal assault, battery, larceny, and robbery. And pending further investigation, there may be a claim of criminal conspiracy depending on discovery of new evidence. So, fam, let's talk a little bit. All right? We've been through a lot. All right? We've been through a lot. Again, this is just my opinion. I'm not acting as a lawyer. I'm not acting as a legal professional. I cannot tell you what to believe. I'm only able to communicate to you the things that I know. And I'm only able to show you the things I know, and you can make your own determinations, right? Again, my opinions, of course, but I invite you all to be your own free-thinking individuals. But I want any person, all right? I'm just going to ask you this question, and I'm going to leave it with you. Do any of you, acting in your own personal capacity, acting in your own individual capacity, looking at the totality of the evidence, at the totality of the law, do any of you think that there was no charge, no single charge, that the DA could have possibly brought against those suspects? Because that's what the DA is saying, that there's not anything worth pursuing, not a single charge worth pursuing. Which is why they set those men free, and which is why they are still free today, and which is why now those women, Eden and her friends, have to live in fear. And in the words of someone who we heard from, if they ever happen to encounter those men in society, better cross the street. Y'all are free-thinking individuals. I'll leave the determination ultimately to you. I hope this has been educational, and I hope that this has been able to be helpful. Thank you.